I've got to say, as a parent of a school-age child, that I personally feel much better if the school bus drivers have benefits, protections, are treated like professionals with dignity and respect.
One of the big stories here locally is that the Huntsville City School Bus drivers just unionized in a huge way, bigly, as some might say, with the Teamsters, Local 402. They won an election on March the 8th, 131-6. Super blowout. We've been able to talk to some of the couple of school bus drivers and the Teamsters business agent, Joe Gronick, in the last week or so about the win, and they've been able to kind of shed some light on how that happened. And, one of the really big things is that so there are kind of two parts to it. Some of the push towards unionization and a lack of and then there's also like a lack of there was a lack of an anti-union campaign from the company, which I think, is obviously important. And so the first thing is, like a lot of folks, these school bus drivers they didn't feel like they made enough money. They work 30 hours a week on average, according to a school bus driver, Liz Smith, that we talked to. 30 hours a week on average, and they make $20 an hour. And they can tell that is below market rate because other school bus drivers' salaries are public, because other school bus drivers are public employees, right? As opposed to in Huntsville City, they've contracted this service out, and but other cities haven't done that. And so they can look just a little bit outside of Huntsville City school limits, and they can see that the Madison City school bus drivers make $23 an hour, a full $3 an hour more than Huntsville City school bus drivers. And then on top of that, the Huntsville City school bus drivers don't get any benefits. They don't have like healthcare or retirement or any of that kind of stuff that you would expect an actual, a career to give you.
Right. I mean, Madison City, those are public school employees, so they have access to the retirement system of Alabama. That's a defined benefit pension. They have access to health care through PHIP, the Public Education Employees Health Insurance Program, right? And they have the due process rights that come with the Students First Act. There's a lot there that's missing when you are contracted out.
And in addition to school bus drivers only making $20 an hour, they have apparently, and I wasn't aware of this, but I guess maybe this is a thing that was around when I was going to school, but they have bus monitors on school buses, on some school buses, particularly when there are like special needs bus routes, they have bus monitors, but then apparently there are some bus monitors on non-special needs bus routes.
It can be a discipline challenge on a full bus sometimes.
Right. And the bus monitor, and I was confused. They said bus monitor. I was like, I don't even know. What are you talking about? What does that mean? And it's like a disciplinary role. Right.
Yeah, another adult on the bus to monitor the children.
That isn't,
driving,
commandeering a however many ton vehicle with the 70 lives, right? Somebody who's just dedicated to like watching the kids, basically.
Right. Which is very, very important. If you could only imagine the stress of driving a school bus through traffic, and then there's dozens and dozens of kids. And what if they don't all behave perfectly like little angels?
Right.
That may happen a time or two.
Yeah. And bus monitors, and particularly, and it's not only, the disciplinary issues, but on the special needs, but like there are needs that have to be, there is care that has to be given there.
Health and safety is very critical there.
And the bus monitors only make $13 an hour.
Ooh.
And the driver trainers, they still only make $20 an hour, even though they can work sometimes as much as 60 hours a week. And they still don't have benefits. So, there are lots of reasons there that makes it difficult. And Liz, the school bus driver that I talked to mainly, she said that she was, before the campaign actually started, she was kind of looking towards other employment because she would like to be able to stay as a school bus driver, but the compensation is just not enough to keep you around. And that totally makes sense. But she's excited now because she's thinking that hopefully with the union that being unionized, that they'll be able to get more and they'll be able to they'll be able to make a decent living, and that's important. And so that's part of it, is like the wages and the benefits, and that's super common thing. And then there's also the thing about how this company, unlike so many other companies, they did not unleash a huge anti-union campaign, which is important.
Right. They did the right, decent thing.
Yeah. And now, to be fair, they didn't do the right, decent thing. I mean, I don't know. Maybe the official position of the union is that they did the right, decent thing. But my position as a commentary, not as a representative of the Teamsters or anything like that, but my analysis would be that they didn't do that because the First Student, the company that owns this contract service, it's not because they're so great and whatever. It's because they have a national contract with the Teamsters. The Teamsters represents First Student bus drivers across the country, and they have a national contract setting up, wages and benefits and stuff like this. But they also, in the contract, there is a neutrality clause that says that they legally can't. Like it would be a breach of contract for them to go on an anti-union rampage in a union campaign, and so, because of the power that school bus drivers have been across the country, First Student school bus drivers have been able to amass, they have been able to bend the company, and kind of handcuff them, tie their hands behind their back in the case of these other union campaigns and say, like, no, you can't. We're not going to allow you to do that, and we're willing to fight for that to be in our contract. And so that's a really good thing, and that, that's shows that winning kind of begets more winning, right?
Right. Yeah, I think that's very accurate. And the thing is, like, it's not as if the company is restricted in any real practical way. What it is that they are basically required to do the right thing, which is to stay out of it, to be neutral, to let the employees have their choice. And they actually, First Student actually put out a statement about the campaign, and they said, quote, "First Student has a freedom of association policy that supports our commitment to our employees and their individual right to choose whether or not they want to join a labor union. We have no conflict with our drivers organizing. We have a strong relationship with the Teamsters, which includes a national master agreement. First Student contracts with both unionized and non-unionized teams, and our safety and reliability standards are equally high." So, I like you. I don't want to give too much credit to any company, because ultimately, as you said, this is a testament to the power of the Teamsters organizing nationwide. But that's what you want to see, and so I do applaud First Student for doing what they're supposed to do, because companies frequently don't. And so I do applaud them for that, and I hope that bodes well for the future.
And the fact that the Teamsters have a national agreement with this company already, because one of the anti-union arguments traditionally is like, oh, you don't know what's going to happen, know, but this is... They have this national contract, and the national contract sets out higher standards than they're working under. And so, it's like, there's
a no-brainer.
It's really a no-brainer, right? You're almost guaranteed, it's not a guarantee necessarily, but it's almost a guarantee that these school bus drivers are going to have better wages and better benefits going forward, because the company's already agreed to better wages and benefits with the Teamsters before. And so why wouldn't they do it here? There's no reason to believe they're not going to do it here. So Joe Gronick told Fox News 54 in an interview with them that they have a meeting coming up in the very near future with workers to have discussions in regards to what's going to be negotiated in their labor agreement. And so we look forward to continuing reporting on that, seeing if there's anything in particular that these drivers are interested in fighting for that isn't in the national agreement, or how they're going to, just what their specific needs are and how negotiations are going to play out. So It's going to be. I'm looking forward to seeing how it develops, but I don't anticipate. That this is going to be really a knockdown, drag out fight. I think that we're going to have the bus drivers are going to have negotiations, and I think that they're going to be able to get a lot of what they're interested in getting, and it's going to be a something that both sides can at least be happy with or be content with. So
and I think it's so important that nearly 200 bus drivers right here in our community, their lives have changed for the better. And they are now a part of something bigger than themselves. And that's just, that's fantastic news. And that's why we're so excited about it. And we really appreciate Teamsters 402 for going for it. We appreciate these bus drivers, the 131 who crushed it in this election. That is just amazing. And
one of the Liz, the bus driver that I've spoken to most, she came to our the Labor Council's Thirsty Friday event last night, our little happy hour event that we do every now and then, and she had a shirt that was a Teamster shirt, and it said "The wheels on the bus go Union now." So that was,
hell yeah. I noticed that shirt. That was awesome. I love it.
Yeah, I got to get my hands on.
Yeah,
I got to talk to Joe.
So it's just I've got to say, as a parent of a school-aged child, that I personally feel much better if the school bus drivers have benefits,
right?
If they have protections, if they are treated like professionals with dignity and respect, right? That is such an important job. Those of us with education background know how important and how difficult that job is. So all power to the bus drivers here in Huntsville. Congratulations on your union. Congratulations on the contract that is sure to come. And keep us posted on this. We'd love to see it.
You just saw a clip from the Valley Labor Report. We are live every Saturday morning from 9:30 a.m. till 12:30 p.m. And we pride ourselves on keeping all of our content free to everybody so that we can talk to as many working folks as possible. If you support the work that we're doing, you think that it's important, you think that it's good, then consider making a monthly contribution to the project, and you can do that on our website, tvlr.fm.